Singapore is one of the true Asian melting pots. People of different ethnic and religious origins settled in what is now Singapore, and when they came here, they brought with them their religions and culture, customs, cuisine, and so on, as we can see it to this day, alive and well everywhere we look. I did not set out to explore any of this, but if you walk around, you cannot not see it. So I visited some of many religious sites here that I came across just by randomly walking around the city. It is morning and Singapore is waking up, and so am I, and I'll go for a walk. And it's certainly a good time because Singaporeans are going to work and visitors are still sleeping or getting up. We are in front of the temple and they are wishing us a happy and prosperous Lunar New Year, even though it's already over. And if I remember correctly, it's the year of the snake. Okay, let's cross the street. Let's take the shoes off. Ready to go in. Sri Mariamman Temple is the oldest Hindu temple in Singapore. Since its construction in 1827, it has played an important role in the lives of Hindus here. In the early years, it provided shelter for Indian immigrants and was the only Hindu temple whose priests were vested with the authority to solemnize Hindu marriages. Some information: even before Singapore was established as a British colonial outpost in 1819, waves of immigrants, including soldiers, traders, and manual workers from the Indian subcontinent, had settled here. The temple has the basic elements of any traditional Hindu temple: shrines for the gods and goddesses, and central hall for worshippers and tower entrance. Parts of the temple, including the peripheral wall, which we are looking at right now, domes and sanctums, date back from the 1840s. For us who are not Hindus, there are hints of who is who. You can see it right here. Sri Muthalaraja with two donkeys. It was very lovely, and it is one of the cool things or good things to get up early and to explore before everyone else comes. Let's have a look at this magnificent temple. Will I be able to go in? Famous Buddha Tooth Relic Temple and Museum. Let's go in. Let's check it out. Buddha Tooth Relic Temple and Museum is very new, from 2007. The temple was built based on Chinese Buddhist architectural style of Tang Dynasty, as well as incorporating slight Japanese and Tibetan Buddhist influences in certain rooms to house the tooth relic of the historical Buddha. It is claimed that the relic of Buddha, from which it gains its name, was found in a collapsed stupa. The size of the tooth, measuring 7.5 centimeters, however, is far too long for a human tooth. Beautiful. This little garden courtyard grows at the rooftop of the Buddhist temple. I didn't expect that. I expected some views of the surroundings, but not this. Impressive prayer wheel. Prayer wheel is installed inside 10,000 Buddha's pavilion. It is the largest Buddha prayer wheel in the world. Cloisonné prayer wheel. I have no idea what it means. Cloisonné looks like it originated in French. Revolving scriptures originated from the turning the Pitaka. Turning a sutra is different from reading Pitaka, which virtually meant reading the sutras every day without missing a single word. Turning Pitaka is just reading a few lines at the start, middle and end portions of the sutras. So it's like little cheating, quote unquote. And mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all. We have a little museum here. When I see this fat Buddha, who was never fat in his life as far as I know that this is the Chinese style Buddha statue. This is more like Nepal, northern India, and so on. Here it says 19th century China, the fat depiction. China. These were usually placed at the entrance of tombs in pairs to protect tomb owner and ward away evil. The World Museum serves as a one-stop portal for visitors worldwide to appreciate the life story of Buddha, to understand the meaning of his key teachings, Dharma, as well as to introduce the future Buddha through the artworks. Okay, goodbye. Beautiful Buddhist temple and museum. In the middle of all this, look around, is a Christian church. I don't know what denomination, maybe Catholics, maybe Protestants. We will find out when we get closer. Perfectly white. Service in progress, no entry for sightseeing. Wow, so what do I do now? St. Andrew's Cathedral. What do I do? Do I pretend I want to join the service? I don't think so. This is not Catholic. Church of England. St. Andrews, brief history. 1823 and so on. 1838, St. Andrews was consecrated but twice struck by lightning. 1942, cathedral used as an emergency hospital before the fall of Singapore. 1973, it became a national monument. 1996, the province of Southeast Asia was formed as the 37th province of the Anglican Communion. 2012, the 150th anniversary of the consecration of the St. Andrew's Cathedral building. Okay, so that was really a brief history. How do I get out of here? The welcome center, so there should be an exit, I hope. Oh yeah, I can get out of here. Armenian church. Armenian church, built by D.G. Coleman in 1836. It is the oldest church in Singapore. Originally it had a domed roof and a bell turret in the ancient Armenian church tradition. In 1853, both features were removed for structural reasons and a pitched roof and spire were installed. Congregation obviously was not huge, but it was and is a nice little church. The Armenian community, Singapore, 1917, more than 100 years ago. Yeah, as I said, the community was not very big, yet they built this little, very nice church. Very different from Catholic churches. No expensive decorations, no goat. And right there we have National Archives of Singapore, very close by. This is probably where the clergy lived, I guess. Oh, Armenian Heritage Gallery. Visiting hours by appointment only. What do we have here? Apparat waterfall. In honor of the birth of my grandson. So someone donated this to the church in 2018. What a beautiful blue and gold mosque. Looks really interesting. I think we should stop by and have a look. Almost there. Malabar Muslim Jamaat Mosque. This landmark along Victoria Street is the only mosque in Singapore built and managed by the Malabar Muslim community. Hailing from the southern state of Kerala, India, the Malabar Muslims were known to have arrived in Singapore by the early 1900s. Most of the early migrants came here without their families, as their primary intention was to make a living here before eventually returning to India. However, they started to settle in Singapore over time. Assalamualaikum. This way. Masjid Sultan, also referred to as Sultan Mosque, is a widely known religious landmark in Singapore. This mosque is highly significant in terms of both history, culture, and religion. Sultan Hussain Shah of Johor and Sir Stamford Raffles of the British East India Company signed a treaty in 1819 that permitted the British to officially establish a trade settlement in Singapore. Sultan Shah then requested, as part of this arrangement, that a mosque be built to serve the Muslim community. So, this mosque goes back to the birth of Singapore. Over the years, it was expanded, restored, modified, and so on, and that's what we see today. And this also will be the end of today's video. I hope you like my random selection of religious sites. Thank you for watching, take care, and bye.